This is Inside Troy Athletics, a look at what's going on and what's coming up for Troy University's Trojans. Now, here's your host for Inside Troy Athletics, Jonathan Sellers.
Hello and welcome to Inside Troy Athletics. I'm your host, Jonathan Sellers, and today I'm joined by my side by the Director of Athletics for Troy University, and that's Jeremy McLean. And Jeremy, welcome to another season here at Troy Athletics.
Great, glad to be back and visiting with you as always.
I know it's another exciting year. I know we've already got a couple of teams that their seasons have begun. We've got football starting this weekend. We've got cross country, so really getting that ball started for the 2017-2018 athletic calendar.
Yeah, it's here. You know, we've got a few soccer games under our belt and volleyball matches, and like you said, with cross country and football kicking off now, and it's wide open. So it'll be that way until May.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I know we've got a couple of coaching changes with soccer and volleyball, a couple of new guys at the helm, and so far maybe not quite the results they wanted, but still kind of a learning curve and new rosters and things they're having to get used to. Yeah,
for sure. Like you said, Jed O'Connor took over on the soccer side for us back in January, and what you run into when you have that transition, first of all, from a roster standpoint, we've got just a couple of seniors on that group, and really kind of are heavy on the underclassmen side. So it's a young group, and they had a really good spring, kind of adjusting to new coaching style, and so they have had some ups and downs right now. But I think they're pretty, from a coaching staff perspective, pretty pleased with where the team is and where they're headed. Feel like they're getting better every time out, and so excited about that. It's going to take a little time, just from like I said, a roster standpoint, and then everybody kind of getting on the same page. But we feel good about where that program's headed.
And they've got a long way to go, and have only played, I believe, one, maybe two home matches so far.
Correct.
So there's still several more to go to play in front of that home crowd.
Yeah, that's right. And so had a big win on the road earlier this week, and so kind of got some things out of the way from the standpoint of winning a couple of matches, and especially winning on the road. So great opportunity. You know, there's plenty of opportunity for our fans to come out and see them, and we get great support out at soccer from our students and from the community, and so. Still a lot of fun to watch. Like I said, even though there's been some changes, it's a great style, and we look forward to them just getting better and better as the year goes on.
And the volleyball team is in the same situation. They've played their opening weekend. Volleyball, normally they start with a tournament loading schedule where they're going to play tournaments for the first few weeks. They played one of those on the road this weekend. This weekend they're going to be at home for the first time, so a good chance for fans to come out and see the team in action and see what they're all about.
Correct. So they went on the road last weekend up to South Carolina, and as we mentioned, Josh Lauer took over the volleyball program again at the end of the season in December of last year, and so transition. You know, same thing with the roster. We've got a lot of young players on the roster, and so they started last weekend in South Carolina and did some things well, but from a results standpoint, didn't start the way they wanted to. But so it's a great opportunity to come back home, be in Trojan Arena this coming weekend, and have the opportunity to be on the home court, get a little more comfortable. And like I said, just continue to work and improve every time out.
Again, and that's a younger roster, a lot of young players, a lot of youth, some coming back from last year, some freshmen on the team, and a good chance to see them at home.
Yeah, absolutely. And Josh is, I think, very excited, and maybe he'll get a chance to talk about this, but excited about what the potential is. Again, there's some really good young talent on the team, and I think he's excited about where that's headed. It's just going to be a little bit of a process. Just again, everybody getting on the same page and kind of working through that, and very much like soccer, I feel like as the year goes on, we'll see a lot of progress.
All right, and I know everybody has been waiting for this, but let's go ahead and talk about some football. I know it is finally game week. There's been a lot of anticipation really since the end of last season and that big bowl win and those 10 wins from last year. A lot of anticipation building through spring practice in the summer, and it's finally here. And the team is going to be heading to Boise State this week, so really a big matchup to start off the season.
It is, you know, and like you said, Jonathan, we've got a lot of great momentum coming out of last year. Finished strong. You know, really had a good spring, good recruiting class. We've got much of our, especially offensively, much of our team coming back, which raises the expectation level, right? And which is a good thing. That's where we want to be. And so to come out of the gates in 2017 at Boise State is a great challenge for our team and our coaching staff. But it's also a great measuring stick, I think, of where we are.
Right.
No secret, and we'll make no bones about it. Boise State is kind of what we view as what we want to be as a program from a Group of Five standpoint.
Right.
They've done it over the last 10 or 12 years, and you kind of see their model and what they've been able to do. It's very impressive. And so we want the opportunities to establish ourselves, our team, as that group of 5 program that can be consistently right near the top.
Now, I know that game is going to be nationally televised. It's going to be on ESPNU this weekend, 2:45 kickoff. So a lot of things going on around the game. I know a lot of fans are going to go out there to see it. There may be probably watch parties here around town. So it's not just one of these openers where maybe you can see it. It's going to be a chance for everybody to get to watch it. And as you said, a lot of people coming back, a lot of that summer hype from players being added to watch lists. So really exciting opportunity.
Yeah, it is. And so the opportunity to be on national television, we got several of those opportunities this year, and that kind of comes with that success. So we were successful last year, and which leads into opportunities to be televised this year. And so opportunity there to play that afternoon game, which doesn't happen in Boise very often. I don't think they played an afternoon game in 6 or 8 years at home anyway. And so our afternoon game there on ESPNU, great opportunity nationally. And I'll tell you this too, like you said, the anticipation, the expectation, even on a national, from a national media standpoint, this game has been voted one of the top 10 games for opening weekend, just because of, again, our success last year and where we're at, and then Boise's tradition. So I think a lot of eyes will be on this game.
And that says a lot, considering the opening slate of games this weekend to be in that top 10. That's pretty big. Mention some of the summer watch lists that players were added to. Brandon Silvers, big name. He's been here starter. This will be his 4th year starting. A lot of anticipation around what he can do, and especially, as you mentioned, all the weapons coming back. Jordan Chunn, Josh Anderson, the guys on the outside. So a lot of those guys coming back. There's a chance for that offense to be really special this year.
Yeah, and I think even better than we have been. And last year was really good. And I think Brandon has continued, just been impressed with how he's continued to mature and grow, not just as a quarterback, as a person. Really put himself in a great position to be on those national lists, on that Senior Bowl watch list, on that, the watch list for the best quarterbacks in the country. And he's going to have some weapons around him, like you said. I think our receiving core is as deep as it's ever been. And we've got guys who won't be starting that would be starting a lot of places.
Right.
And so just and with the type of offense we run, obviously the depth is really important for us. And so that, I think, we've got a great opportunity offensively to do some special things. And Brandon's going to be, he'll be at the center of that for sure.
And then on the defensive side, under the leadership of Vic Koenig and John Summerall last year, such a turnaround from previous years. And it was just dramatic. Lost a lot of players from that defense, though. Some players coming back, but a lot of new faces and young faces coming in to fill the void. Are the coaches confident in what they can do?
They are. I think you said one thing there that I think is going to be important. We're going to play a lot of young guys on defense, which can be challenging. But I think if you ask our coaching staff, they would tell you there's a lot of talent.
Right.
Those young guys are really, really talented. Kind of a matter of how quickly they mature into their role and can make a difference on the field. But I think what we'll see is a good mixture of the guys who've been there and who've done it before and can lead a little bit, and then some younger guys who are really talented and I think have the ability to handle that role. And so Vic does an amazing job. Our whole defensive staff, great group, and they seem to get the best out of those defensive players. So I have no doubt that they'll continue to do that, and it'll be fun to watch some of those younger guys grow up as the year goes on for sure.
I know everybody's excited about that kickoff. You said that the team will be actually leaving on Friday, getting to Boise late Friday afternoon, and then kickoff on Saturday.
Yeah,
so.
it'll be a quick trip in some ways, a long flight, but a quick trip, and we look forward to it.
But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about next week. Next week will be the first home game, and it's a big one. It may be a lower down opponent in Alabama State in division-wise,
right.
But that's a big opponent, especially in this area. I know there will be a lot of excitement locally in the Montgomery area. A lot of people coming down, and it could be hopefully a sellout.
Yeah, I think, like you said, a big game in a lot of different ways. Obviously, Alabama State being right up the road is it's a unique situation, great opportunity for us to create some excitement, and they travel well. They're going to bring their band, which is wonderful. We're going to have 2 great bands on the field that day, and they travel well. They got a great fan base, and so that's an exciting opportunity for us. I think, like you said, we're shooting to try to pack out the vet and fill every seat we can. And I think we're gonna be very close to doing that. And so I would ask people, if I had one message about that opening game, I would tell people to arrive early,
right,
and get to their seats early, because there's gonna be a lot of people trying to come into the stadium. And so if you want to avoid get caught outside or trying to find a parking spot or whatever, as kickoff starts, get there early, come in, enjoy warm-ups, and be in your seat when the game gets kicked off.
Well, and I know y'all will be releasing some information about game day procedures, parking, all that in the next week before next Saturday, obviously. And so just kind of keep an eye on those things. Do what they say and follow the rules and as you say, get there early. And that way, kind of take in the atmosphere, especially if you've never been to a game, check it out, see what it's all about, and get you a Coke and a hot dog, and you'll be good to go.
Yeah, and we're taking every precaution and every measure we can to try to manage the crowd, and from a parking, traffic flow, ticket sales, concessions. But the simple truth is we'll have 30,000 people in our stadium, and that's going to put some pressure on our infrastructure. And so yeah, we would ask people just to kind of follow our guidelines, and we'll try to help every way we can, and be helpful and have great customer service during this game. That's our objective. But it's going to be a great crowd, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
And I know one thing you're hoping people kind of take notice of is something that's being built on that north side of the stadium, and that's the new north end zone facility. It has progressed a lot since the last time we talked, and I know that's something you're excited to see. The rain may have scared you a little bit this summer, how rainy it was, but it looks like things have kind of picked up pace.
They really have, and our crew, Whaley Construction, done an excellent job of kind of getting back on track and really making up a lot of ground over the last couple of months. And you see that. It's fun once the foundation work was completed, and that took a while. There was a lot of work to be done, but once that was completed and the steel started coming up out of the ground for that project, it's a lot of fun to see. And I think for that first game, we'll have a lot of that steel in place. People will be able to see most of the skeleton of that building. And then as the season wears on, it'll be fun to see from game to game how much progress is made, and people will get a chance to see that every time they come into the stadium.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, we don't actually play back-to-back home games this season, so there will be a little bit of space, so you will get to see that progress. I know not the 9th, but then the 23rd, we come back for another big game against an out-of-conference opponent, and a lot of things will be going on for that game, with military appreciation being pushed earlier this year. So a lot of things to watch out for this year, and a lot of exciting opportunities to watch Troy football.
No doubt about it. We've got those first 2 games are on Saturdays. Great opportunities, a lot going on. And then we've got 2 games, one in October and one in November. Obviously, homecoming is on Saturday with Georgia Southern late in October. But then we've got South Alabama on a Wednesday night, and Idaho on a Thursday. And then Texas State on a Friday after Thanksgiving, before that Saturday. So we do have some midweek games this year, which causes some issues from a fan perspective, people trying to get to the games, and we understand that. We would just ask people to bear with us. A lot of that is driven by the fact that we had success last year. People have their eyes on us, and the TV executives want us to be on their airwaves, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And so I would ask people just to bear with us as we can try to grow our brand and get that exposure.
I know fans, especially the students, have probably already circled October 11th on the calendar. Last year, such a fun, exciting game down in Mobile. Maybe South Alabama can return the favor and bring that kind of crowd up to Troy and have just a great atmosphere for that game as well. That'll be exciting.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope they do travel well. We obviously want that every time from our visiting fan bases. But I hope we don't leave them a lot of seats.
Right,
I hope our people show up in mass on Wednesday night and make that a lot of fun, and obviously a great rivalry we've built with South Alabama, and should be a lot of fun like it always is.
I know we spent a lot of time talking football. There's other sports. Cross country will be starting this weekend. I know that program has just kind of built the past few years. I know Coach Blount has been excited about what he's been building. What are they looking forward to this year?
Yeah, I think for Coach Blount, if you ask him, we've made a lot of progress the last couple of years, like you said. I think we're more talented. We have performed better throughout the year. I think his objective this year will be able to make sure that they're peaking at the right time, and that when we go into conference at the end of their season, that they're in best shape possible and prepared to finish strong in conference and kind of move up those rankings from a Sun Belt perspective. And so we look forward to that this year. And you're right, he's done an excellent job of really building that roster and getting us in a more competitive environment.
One other coaching note to talk about the team that will be playing in the fall, golf. Coach Matt Terry has left. He is now at Louisiana Tech, and congratulations to him. I know you hate to see coaches go, but it means that they're succeeding. Bart Barnes, who was the women's coach, is now taken over for him. What is the search for the women's team?
Yeah, so like you said, Bart moved over to the men's side. We went through that search process, and Bart did an excellent job, and definitely was the right person for that opportunity. And now, so we're in the middle of the women's search right now, and we've got a great group of candidates, and just trying to find the right fit for Troy and making sure that we've got an opportunity to build on a foundation of success that's in place.
A couple other things that on the horizon. I know some exciting basketball games will be coming up. Troy will be actually playing in Rupp Arena in November, so that's an exciting opportunity. Troy fans, go watch the Trojans play Kentucky.
Yeah, great opportunity for our program. Obviously, those things don't come along that often, but coming off on a great year, and Phil Cunningham's done an excellent job of continuing to grow our program. And so we'll be a great kind of measuring stick opportunity for us to go play one of the best programs, obviously, in the country of all time. And so I hope our fans show up in force for that one.
Now, also know that I believe the women are playing Tennessee, so another traditional powerhouse. And I know they've got a good out-of-conference schedule, too, as well as in-conference, and same thing for men. So a lot to look forward to. Is there anything I missed?
No, I think we've covered a lot. It's exciting. We're in a good place. We, as a department, want to just continue to build off the momentum that we established last year and continue to grow the Troy brand.
One other thing I want to mention this Friday, as declared by the governor last week, is College Colors Day. So we've already got ours on right now, but make sure you wear them on Friday. And then again on Saturday as you're just out and around town or in Boise, Idaho.
Yeah, we just throw them in the washer on Friday night and put it back on Saturday. That's right.
So Cardinal, black or silver, make sure you have it on. So Jeremy, thanks for joining us and look forward to a good year.
Appreciate it.
All right, stay tuned for more coming up on Inside Troy Athletics. And welcome back to Inside Troy Athletics. And we're going to talk Troy volleyball with the head coach of that program, and that's Coach Josh Lauer. And Coach, welcome to the show, and welcome to the 2017-18 season.
Yes, it's good to be here. It's good to finally get started.
Now, y'all are one of two teams that has already gotten things underway. I know played in a tournament in South Carolina and then at Kennesaw State. And as we were talking off the record, off air, that things may not be record-wise where you want them to be right now, but you're happy with your team's effort so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our progress this weekend was really good, and obviously have some things to work on this week in practice, today, tomorrow, and Thursday. But really, really excited about the girls' effort and their mindset right now.
Now, you played some pretty solid teams up there. You came out with 3 losses, but you were close, and you were actually telling me that your points earned outscored their points.
Yeah, it's always tough when you are earning more points than your opponent and losing matches.
Right.
And so it's kind of that bittersweet victory, that we can talk with the team about. But I think that it was enough to get them through and understand, like, hey, if we get in the gym this week, we can use this past weekend as a great growth opportunity, and we can get better. And there's a lot of things that are in our control that we can work on. So I think they're excited to be back in the gym.
Now, is that one of those things, when you're earning those points, the points that the other team or you're not earning, or you may be giving away, is that something that is just an error that you can work on fixing?
Absolutely. So, earned points kills, blocks, aces. We were, without question, the best serving team at the tournament. Without question, the best passing team. Our passers, Bethany Colletti, Cheyenne Hayes, Sarah Grace Wilson, Belle Waldrop, and Avalon Nera were fantastic over the weekend. And we served really well. Kiara Barrett was fantastic from the service line. So we did a lot of those things well. We got to clean up. We let the service game get away from us as a team against Mercer, and we got to clean up our swings a little bit, our attacking. We got to be a little smarter here and there, and we got to keep taking risks, but we got to be smarter in some out-of-system situations.
Now, you're getting your first opportunity at home this weekend. I know that's something you've got to be excited about. You've probably heard about the atmosphere and how the fans can show up there at Trojan Arena. Are you looking forward to it?
Can't wait. All I've been hearing since I got here in January was, man, wait till you see the volleyball crowd. The volleyball crowd is great. They're so into it. So, volleyball crowd, we need you. We need you here on Friday and Saturday. And so we'll give you a break for the football game, and then come on back Saturday night, and we'll tee it back up again.
There will actually be 3 matches, Friday and Saturday. So you're playing Friday night at 6:30.
Correct.
And then Saturday at 10, and then 4:30?
Yes.
Okay. What do you know about your opponents for the weekend?
Yeah, our opening opponent on Friday is Northwestern State. They were one of the top 3 teams in the Southland Conference last year. Okay. Good team. We're in the NCAA tournament no more than, I think, 2 or 3 years ago. So another great challenge for our young team. But, home opener, I'm expecting our kids to be jacked up and the crowd to be crazy, so that's going to be really fun. And then Winthrop and Jackson State, they're a little bit in our situation, in a transition time, rebuilding a little bit, so those should be some good matches as well. So I'm excited for this weekend. We're looking to turn it up a notch a little bit.
Now, I know you've got a long schedule ahead of you. what kind of expectations do you have for this week? And I know you'd like to get 3 wins. What are you hoping for to see out of your team?
Well, I mean, I think that what we've been talking about this season is that we've been talking about focus, really dialing in on what we need to do as far as classwork, volleyball focus, and that includes not only practice, but our scouting and things like that. And I think our girls are really paying attention to those things. And our end goal is to be back in the conference tournament. You know, like we need to have a big goal at the end, and we want to take good, consistent steps forward all through the season.
Right.
So, you know, we talk all the time. It's about how we play. You know, the result will come if we continue to focus on how we play. And that's our focus this weekend as well.
Right, 100% effort, and then things will end up falling your way.
Absolutely.
All right, well, again, Friday 6:30, Saturday at 10 and 4:30. Go out there and support your Trojans. And as you said, hopefully you'll have that great volleyball crowd you've been hearing about.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks.
All right, join us again next week for more on Inside Troy Athletics.